Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the first ever edition of Knatters Knits podcast. Pull up a drink, come and join me, and hopefully we'll be able to go through a few of the things that I'm doing at the moment and the things that I'm into with my knitting and my spinning and things, and hopefully you'll make this a regular half an hour where we can just sit and chat, and I'd love to get to know a little bit more about how you're doing. So the first thing I want to do, excuse me, I've got my notes over here so just having a look, is introduce myself. My name's Natalie. My full name's Natalie Tidy. I'm known everywhere on the internet as Knatters Knits, either on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, you name it, Knatters Knits is there. I've also got a blog, but you'll find all that about me later on. The main thing is that I'm on Ravelry as Knatters Knits, and there is a Knatters Knits group on Ravelry as well. The reason that group's there is because I spin my own wool and I sell it. I also have designed a few things to go with it, just so that you can actually try some stuff using hand spun yarn. So, who am I? What am I about? Well, I'm 50 something, 54 I think, something like that. I'm a mum. My children are at the present time 25, 27 and 34. And I have a grandson who is 14. Hi to you all. And I live in the northwest of England, very beautiful place. Those of you who know British accents will know that my accent is sort of northern, but it's not as northern as a lot of people's. If I'm speaking too fast, do email in and let me know, or let me know on the discussion boards, and I will try and slow down a bit for you. I realise that I tend to ramble and gabble, so I apologise for that in advance. I just want to mention my hair, or the lack of it. There's a reason for this. I don't usually have my hair quite so short. About 3-4 weeks ago now, my friend and I, Lynn, who I work with during my day job, decided that we would raise some money for Macmillan cancer support. And not being the most wonderful of physiques, runnings out, I did do the Race for Life a couple of times and only just came in front of the wheelchair, so that was a no-no. So the easiest thing for me to do was to shave my barnet, and I did. And I don't regret it a bit, actually, because it's been quite warm this summer, so it's been quite nice. But the really good thing about it was that we did manage to raise about £1,100-1,200 for Macmillan, who do a wonderful job supporting those people and their families who've got cancer, so I was really pleased with that. And just reading on their website last night, I discovered that they've made over £2 million just doing this in the month of August. So I'm really pleased about that. That's fantastic. Okay, so what do I do and who am I? By day I work as an administrator in a residential care home, but by night and at weekend I am this alter ego of Knatters Knits. I spin, I knit, I dye wool, and mainly I do it to keep myself calm. It just helps me chill out and relax. And the reason I sell a lot of the stuff is because I'm quite prolific, and it helps to buy me more stash so that I can keep doing it. So that's why I do it. So most podcasts that I know have a set order of how they're going to do things, and I'm going to stick to the traditional sort of things that other people do for now, but I may change it in future. It's a lovely day here today. It's Friday the 4th of September 2015, and I've got hopefully an hour before anybody from the family turns up, so I thought I'd record now. I'm in my lounge. In future podcasts I hope to be in my studio, but it's, well, let's just say you can't swing a cat in there at the moment, so that's why we're in the lounge. So I thought, because this is the first opportunity to show you some finished items, I'd show you some of the things that I've actually done. And in no particular order, my first one is the Ursula Shawl by Annika and Alice, and it's in this book, Beaded Lace Knitting, although I have to say I didn't actually put any beads on mine, mainly because I used hand spun. Let's see if I can find the pattern for you now and show you what it should look like, and then I'll show you what mine looks like. Not necessarily the same, especially if I'm knitting. But here we go. There you go. So that's the picture. And that's what the shawl looks like in the book. and it's Techniques and 25 beaded lace designs for shawls, scarves and more. As I work full time, it's taken me a week or two to finish this, but I've got there in the end. So it's made in hand spun. The fibre was called From Into the World. It's merino and superwash merino, partly because they only had one bump of each, and I was too impatient to wait for them to do some more. So it's a mix of superwash and non-superwash. So there we go, as you can see, and then the lace detail there. It's not blocked yet, so it's going to actually be better hopefully once it is blocked. I could have put beads in, but again I was impatient, didn't want to wait for them to come, and also with my hand spuns being slightly on the variegated and shall we say lumpy bumpy in places, I decided it would probably be better not to try and thread beads on. So that is my Ursula Shawl, and I'm admitting that I'm also cheating because I'm making it for a knit along. I listened to the FO and Die podcast, and they're having a shawl knit along at the moment. Again, go and have a look at their pages on Ravelry if you're interested. I've bought as well to go with it a shawl pin, she says, having lost the stick. So I don't usually wear shawls very much, but I thought I'd need a shawl pin to keep this one on. So I bought this shawl pin. There's like a little collar effect there. And I got this to go with it. It comes with a stick when I don't drop it on the floor. So there's the stick and the pins. Do this together. And there we go. I think it looks rather nice. So that is something I will tell you about a little bit later on, because I haven't got the details right in front of me at the moment. So that's the Ursula Shawl by Anna Canales. Now the next one that I just completed is this one. I don't know about you, but I do like listening to other podcasts, and I do like watching the Ravelry boards and see what goes on, and following other people's Instagram feeds and Twitter feeds. And everybody been talking about the Yowza Weight Shawl. So I decided I'd give in, do what everybody else has been doing, and try one. So this is it. It's by Susan B. Anderson, and the idea is, without giving too much away, that at certain crucial points you actually weigh it, so you know when to move on to the next phase of the knitting. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's the yarn is, I think, Miss Babs. Can't remember the colourway, but she has the most gorgeous colourways, so do go and have a look at her web pages. You can see them there. Absolutely, I love this shawl. I wear it a lot in the evenings when I'm sitting watching the telly and I want my arms free to knit. I can either just wear it around there like that, or up here, and then toss it over here this way and wear it as a cowl. So many different ways you can wear it. I just absolutely adore it. So that's that one. The other things that I'm doing at the moment are mitered squares. I've got so much leftover hand spun, and I hate wasting odds and ends, but I've got all these little balls sitting everywhere, so I thought it might be a good idea to try and do some sort of blanket with them. But I'm not very good at all these more technical ones done in the round and things like that. And because of the way my hand spun comes out, a lot of it is very variegated and so it doesn't look right in those. I decided to do mitered squares. So I've got this one. That's a Dramatic Knits yarn. Steve of Dramatic Knits is another person whose podcast I love watching. So that's that one. That's leftovers from a hat and cowl that I made, that I entitled my podcast hat, and you can see that on my Ravelry pages. Another one, little one, again hand spun, and another one, And this one is the remains of the Anakin Alice Shawl Ursula. So that's that. Some of the fibres, the two multicoloured ones, are from Sarah's Texture Crafts. Sarah's a friend of mine in Devon. She runs Sarah's Texture Crafts. Got a wonderful eye for colour, and I really, really like her stuff. So that's there. So most people now go on to a list of what they do and what they've got in progress. And I think I'm going to need a sip of this. I'm sorry. This is a really big... I should have alcohol in it, really. I really should. Confession time. My works in progress list is huge. The ones I'm owning up to, that's a different matter, are a blanket, which is like a mega bedspread, which I started several years ago, and my husband is nagging me something rotten to finish it. I decided very stupidly to do it out of this bubble yarn. I don't know if you all remember this one that was very popular a few years ago. So I'm knitting this, and knitting this, and knitting this, and knitting this. It's going to be a double bedspread, and I'm doing it in panels because obviously it's way too thick and chunky for it to sit. I just get so hot I can't knit on it in the summer at all, hence the winter. It's lovely, don't get me wrong, I really love it, and it's so smooshy. I should have just stuck to the cardigan, but because I spent so much on the yarn, that is my mega bedspread, which is still not finished. And yes, feel free to sort of nag me, tell me off about it, and we'll see where we go with that one. One I can't show you because it's in the freezer. Yeah, in the freezer. It's in the freezer for a really good reason. I discovered something crawling in the project bag. I don't know whether it was a moth, whether it was a caterpillar, what it was, but I just freaked and thought, right, the whole lot is going in the freezer. And I haven't had the chance to pull it out again yet and then refreeze it. So my son, he's still waiting for this hoodie, and I'm really, really sorry, son. I really am. But it's stayed in the freezer for now. I'm doing a men's waistcoat, which I will call the Yuck waistcoat. I started it when my husband was a size XXL. He's now lost 4 stone, and I think it's going to be too big, but I'm blowed if I'm ripping it back. I'm not going to show it. I hate knitting on it because it is the most foul acrylic, but I did it on purpose because I knew that if I did it in proper wool, he would bore wash it, and like everything else, it would end up this size. So I didn't. It's yeah, it's in acrylic. It's horrible, but it'll work really, really well going in the washing machine. And maybe, well, you know, with his weight loss, maybe the little bit of shrinkage is good. The other thing I've got on the go is a cardigan that I'm knitting for myself. I started when I knew I got this new job, but I started in March, so I'm still going strong on it. I'm knitting it out of Sirdar Woolrich Aran in this brown colourway. I think the colour lot is SH317, shade 317. It's a 60% wool and 40% acrylic blend. I did it on purpose because I knew that I wanted to go in the machine, but it would probably be quite heavy duty as well and would work well for work. And it's a knit all in one. And it's doing okay. It's getting there. But as you can see, the needle size is perhaps not quite the right one. It is a bit holy, but it's coming along, so I need to pick that up and carry on with that one. And I think I've got too much yarn left over for that one, but never mind. Let's have a go at that one. So that is 60-40 wool acrylic blend, and there's 190 metres per ball. Just meant to be sort of like a workhorse cardigan, really. So the next thing that people usually talk about is a stash enhancement. This is a bit more difficult for me because with being a spinner, I'm always enhancing my stash. And at the moment, I'm spinning on this lovely stuff. My wheel's just down here. It's from Sarah's Texture Crafts again, and it's a mix of Did I write it down? I thought I'd written it down. It's merino, it's alpaca, and there's a little bit of sparkle in there as well, as you can probably just about see. Not really my colours, although perhaps they ought to be. I don't know. What do you think? A bit pale. Difficult with my dark hair. But that is going to be probably on sale at Yarndale, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. The other thing I did get was my shawl pin, which I told you about, which is this, called the Trinity, and it comes with its own shawl pin as well. Beautifully made, no bits to snag or catch on anything, and it is really, really lightweight and lovely. I don't usually wear shawl pins, but it does work really, really well on a variety of them. So that's that one. There we go. It's by a lady called Belinda Harris Reid, and her website's www.belindaharrisreid.co.uk. It's a lovely shawl pin, and I'm really glad I got it, and I think I might get some more, but I really do like that one. So, what have I got coming up? Well, it's September, so over the next few months there are a few things I've got coming up. The first one of which is Yarndale, Yorkshire. I love Yorkshire, and I was born there, so I'm a bit biased. And I have to be careful saying that because I live in Lancashire. And for those of you in Britain, you know the history of the War of the Roses. But for those of you who are outside of the UK, you never admit to being from the other county. Oh, no, real problem. So, yes, I live in Lancashire, and I'm going to Yorkshire. It's a 2-day yarn festival. It's got its own website, www.yarndale.co.uk, and what can I say, it is such fun. The first year I had the best time ever. I think it was the absolute best for me. I really, really enjoyed it. It's similar to Woolfest in that it's in a cattle auction market, and all the stalls are in pens, so I'm allocated one single animal pen for my stall. I don't need anything bigger because I haven't got as much stock as some of the bigger vendors. On the Sunday afternoon it was a bit quieter. On the Saturday and the first year it was absolutely manic, and you couldn't move in the aisles, it was so busy. Over 5,000 people turned up I think one day. But on the Sunday afternoon I just sat there. There was a brass band playing, my favourite of all musics, and it was just like being in heaven, sitting spinning, surrounded by people who loved the same things I did: wool, fibre, spinning, knitting, crochet, all those sorts of things. Wonderful. And this year is the 3rd year, so I've got my 3rd stall. So that's the 26th and 27th of September, and I'd love it if you came along and came and said hi to me. That would be really, really good. What else am I going to be up to? Well, I've got a couple of projects I'll tell you about in just a minute, but I've very brashly decided I'm going to sign up for SpinZilla. SpinZilla is an event held in October. It's an international event but hosted in America by the National Needle Arts Association, and you either join as a team or join as a rogue spinner, and you just basically spin as much as you possibly can during a given time. So that's the beginning of October. To become a rogue spinner it's cost me $10, which on the conversion today was £6.56. So it's not bad, and the money actually goes to help education in the needle art, so I didn't mind doing that. So that should be good fun. So I'll show you my progress in that later on in October when I get there. Ideas I'm thinking of. Well, until I sat down to write the notes for the podcast, I hadn't realised that I booed just a bit. Back in June, I had the pleasure of going to Australia with my brother, visiting some family, and I spent the majority of my time when I wasn't visiting family looking for Australian yarn. I didn't find any. Every time I went in a yarn shop, all they could offer me was Rowan, British stuff, and I didn't want British stuff. I can get British stuff. I wanted Australian stuff because I was in Australia. So I went online and I found a dyer from Australia called Skein. She's been dyeing since 2010, at least that's what her label says. And I bought this top drawer sock 4-ply, and this is what it looks like. That's her label. So it's 4-ply sock. It's 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and there's 400 metres or 437 yards. It's supposed to be knit on a 2 to 3.25mm needle. Machine wash and cold water air dry flat. The colourway is called Outback, and that's why I chose it in the end, because it reminded me of my holiday, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's lovely to hold. It's going to be great to work with. I can feel that already. It's just so nice. You know how you have some that you just want to cuddle? This is one of them. So all in all, I got 3 skeins of this. So I'm planning, I think, on making a Hitofude cardigan with it. It seems to be all the rage. I need another cardigan if I ever finish the other one. And so this is what I'm going to make. This is the one that's going to be, I think. Really like this. I don't know what it is about the colours. There's not too many sort of blotches and things. There are some nice colour runs as well. So that should be quite good. And then, because my friend Sarah from Sarah's Texture Crafts dyes up some beautiful colours, and she was having a sale, so I thought, right, I'll buy some. And I bought this. It is, the colourway is known as Abalone. It's 80% superwash BFL, 20% nylon and high twist. There's 365 metres of it. And it's her superwash sock 4-ply variegated. Now, can you see the similarities? Yeah, not quite the same yarn, but very, very similar colours. What shall I do? Shall I make a cardigan, make a hat to go with it? Shall I make several different things? A pair of socks to go with the cardigan? I don't know. But these colours are still calling to me. I've had them sat in a little plastic container that I have by my armchair. What's sort of the family know as knitting corner. And so they keep calling to me, and I keep thinking, shall I, shan't I, what shall I do? Yeah, I've got loads of patterns picked out. There's loads in my queue. I bought some, like the Hitofude I've already bought. I don't know. I just don't know. So if you've got any opinions, what you think I should do with it, I'd love to hear them. So that's those 2 yarns. No, don't disappear on me. Where have you gone? Scary. Stop it. My playlist has disappeared. And it's making funny noises now. Come on, show me what I've got. No, it's gone. So I think time to have a sip of my drink and see what else I've got to tell you. Well, we've been in my first podcast. I need to apologise for all the hums, the ha's, all the pauses and all the messes that I've made during this podcast. Hopefully it'll improve and you'll stick with me. I'd love to hear what you're going to knit. I'd love to be involved more in what you're doing, and if there's anything you think, you know, you've got an idea for a colourway and you'd like to see it dyed up, let me know and I'll have a go. Because I do this more as a hobby than a business, it is sort of the sort of thing I can play with. Next time I hope to show you some of the colourways just before Yarn Down at the end of the month. Entice you with some of the things that I've dyed up for there. So thank you for listening and watching. Lovely to see you. I do hope you'll come back and try me again. And I'd love to see you over on the Knatters Knits board on Ravelry. Do come in, pop by, introduce yourself, stop and chat, and hopefully I shall see you soon. Take care now. Bye.